Yes, I start. And the first and the most important question is, how have you been?
I've been fantastic. I'm doing everything with full force today. Everything I do. How about you?
I'm slightly better than Brian, but I don't really know how to quantify that, so I just say it as a thing.
Do you still bring your bike to ride a bit on the festivals?
I have two bikes. I have the city bike and I have the long distance run away from noise bike. Today I have the run away from noise bike ready to go.
So have you figured a spot where you can go here?
Well, this is such beautiful country. I mean, you can go 100 kilometers in any direction.
That's true.
So I'm going to.
Very good. You've been around for such a long time now. Like, you know, remembering the 70s, if you do, what's been more exciting in terms of like music, culture, and stuff? What times, like nowadays or back then? What do you think?
I don't know, Jay. What do you think?
That's tough. I mean, if you answer that it was more exciting then you're that old man who, well, everything was better in my day.
I just don't want you to lie, you know.
It's exciting now because of all of the opportunities that people have, and it's exciting to be alive because of technology. But at the same time, back then it was everything was new and weird, and you know, the idea of technology was a hammer. So you know. You know what? Nothing was better. It's all just the same. You just roll with the tide, and whatever happens, happens.
I can say our band was definitely better back then.
Damn it!
All those early good songs, it was great.
But
We play some of them now, though, so come on out with full force. Come on out.
There's always like some sort of like a you know, fantasy how the 70s must have been and stuff like that, and you experienced it. So was it that much different actually?
Well, no, it kind of, as Jay said, it was different because took a lot more effort to do things. You know, everyone couldn't be in a band with an iPhone and have a record deal. Right. It was a lot. There was a lot more work to it, but just like anything, I mean, what's good is good. And if modern bands, some are great, some are horrible, just like back then. Nothing's really changed.
We were horrible back then, right? But we were 15, so we're allowed to be horrible. Not
and
anymore.
punk rock, so it's allowed anyway.
Exactly. Stop that.
We're
That's
going
why
down
people
a
get
road I
fired
don't
for
wanna
saying
go
that.
down.
What? He's mad at me for something.
Seeing your bike west, did you do them on your own, those patches?
Yes, I did.
So you sewed them?
I sewed them myself. I don't have these made like those zombie people. I'm not in Korn. I did this myself. DIY, punk rock.
Did you also ever have such a vest?
I watched him make this vest by his own hands.
Yeah, the backseat.
Okay. Now Brian will attest to this. How many stickers are on? I mean, how many patches are on my vest, Brian?
0. He has a blank vest, a blank
None.
canvas. Tabula rasa.
But did you ever have one like the metal guys? They also have with 200 patches on it.
He knows that a couple of years ago I stole a vest from my son that had the big Motorhead patch on the back, and I had that, and then my son took it back, and so now my vest has nothing on it.
It's important to understand with the vest or battle jacket, as I like to call it, that you earn it, and you should be building it over many years. So you can't just put it all on one day. And that's why Jay is going to take a slow journey to battle vest perfection. Full force.
I have 0 pieces of flair, 0.
Since Greg is not with us right now, this is your chance to tell us what a diva he really is.
You know, he's really not. He's exactly what you think he is. He is a professor who happens to sing for a punk band. And he's totally cool. I hate to ruin it, but he's totally cool and is probably working on a book or something right now while we're standing here with full force in battle vests.
Right. But yeah, obviously, I mean, you guys probably have a different lifestyle. You're not professors and stuff like that. So what's, you know?
Well, actually, I am.
You are? Since today? Or?
Yeah, well, no, my discipline is ichthyology. I'm really more of a fish guy than Greg, who, of course, is an evolutionary biologist. Yeah. So
You're not kidding me.
No, of course I'm kidding. I don't do shit. I'm a punk rock guy. I have a motorcycle. What do you
Fish,
think I do?
man.
Look at me. Look at me. Who's this guy?
I don't know.
So what are you a professor in?
I'm a high school dropout.
Even better.
Stay in school, kids, otherwise you'll be like me.
You mentioned your son. Does your son like the music you do?
He would love this. He's a metal guy. Yeah, my son. Well, actually, my son would think this was light.
Light.
No, he's dark metal. Stuff
So-
I've never heard of. Like, oh yeah, Dad, this guy ate his bass player's guts. And oh yeah, okay.
Because, yeah.
When today you watch the news, what's the most annoying thing for you to see on TV and the news at the
Donald
moment?
Trump's face.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, I'll
Fat
go with that.
face.
I'll go with that. I think what's the most annoying for me in all of the media that I pay attention to is undecided voters. I just can't decide between good and evil. I just can't decide between my best interest and my worst interest. I have no sympathy for the undecided. It's like, be who you are. You know, personally for me it's pretty easy with my obvious anti-Trump rhetoric, but it scares me that people can't figure out like yes or no.
I was surprised I saw this pop star Sia. I saw her pose with Trump and with her wig she's wearing, and she
Yeah.
seems to be.
Yeah, well, pop stars are all stupid. Remember that.
That's
Yeah.
why I hate-
mean, I'm not
listen,
kidding. Every one of them.
I hate
There isn't a smart one.
musicians. I hate them.
It's terrible.
With a
That's-
passion.
That's why we're punk.
I hate me.
About, I mean, you always, in your songs, you always ask philosophical questions, you know, you like about government, about, you know, social issues and stuff like that. Were you able to solve some of those questions by now, or are they still kind of the same almost?
Well, if we solve them, we really won't be able to play any more shows. So that'd be kind of silly. You know, we're gonna keep questioning. Why? Why is this? As time goes on, as time goes on, what we learn is that humans are really fallible and
Terrible.
yeah, people really God love them, but boy, people are really terrible. And
Terrible to a man.
it would be nice if you know the few people who really understand, who are grateful and understand how beautiful life is, could just share that with the majority of people who are so angry. It's really strange. Why be angry? I don't get it. Yeah.
Ja, dann sehen wir euch heute.